What's going on, everybody? You already know. If you don't know, this is your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses, and we are coming to you here live on BOSS Radio's Revolutionary Hour. This is also an audio podcast where I'm not going live on, but I am giving you the same information. We're going to be talking about the same topic, so it doesn't really matter. This is something that we've been doing for a long time. I have been off my game for a while, focusing on Reggae Hour. So if you don't know anything, I'm gonna stop touching the table because I see it shaking the camera. All right, but if you don't know about our Reggae Hour podcast is the number one Reggae Hour podcast out there. You can find us on iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, Deezer. Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for tuning in. But our Reggae Hour podcast features all types of artists from all over the world that bang that nothing but that good ska, street, rock steady, any type of reggae that you can think of. We cover all different genres of reggae. So we definitely ask y'all to find us over there on iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, Deezer, anywhere you can find us at. You feel me? Yeah. So just right now with Revolutionary Owl, you know what I'm saying? This is our first time going live on TikTok, so I'm still trying to figure this out, you know what I'm saying? But thank you, Ashley, for joining me, But if you can hit that like, follow, and subscribe on all our other streaming services, YouTube, so on and so forth, I appreciate that. But on Revolutionary Hour, we like to talk about, I said topics that I wouldn't associate with reggae. And today, excuse me. Usually I go at night, but today we're going to be talking about the arrest warrants for Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu and the Hamas leaders. I personally am finding out a lot about this as we speak. But when I found out, I was like, hey, let me go ahead and share it with y'all to see what y'all think about it. Because it's a lot of it's very a polarizing subject right now, but again, our hearts go out to all of the innocent that have been victimized, whether you were Israeli or whether you were Palestinian. If you was an innocent bystander, all of this, you didn't deserve to get caught into this. It's like we wish we could just get the leaders together and put them in a room and let them box it out and leave us out of it. You feel me? I feel you. Now, trust me, I feel you. So our hearts go out to all those that are affected negatively about this that had nothing to do with this. I just want to put that out there. But we are going to discuss what the world leaders are trying to do in order to, I guess, to fix this scenario. So we're going to go ahead and uh, go over what exactly is going on with the International Criminal Court and what it can mean for both sides of the aisle, whether it's Israeli or whether it's Palestinian. Now, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, his name is Kareem Khan, and he put together a panel to pretty much look at the war that's going on in Israel and Palestine and figure out if there was any crimes that had been committed that they would need to pursue in order to get some justice. Well, according to that panel and according to the release statement on Monday, he said that he applied for arrest warrants for the top leaders of Israel and Hamas, whom his team suspects of committing war crimes and crimes against humanity during and since the Hamas attack on southern Israel October 7th last year, in which about 1,140 people were killed, on top of the people who were kidnapped by Hamas militants. So that's to me what I would feel like is a step forward because we've seen what's going on over there. We understand that over 35,000 people, innocent people, have been killed since October 7th, and most of them being women and children. I don't know how you feel about that situation, but to me, that kind of has me on edge. How it's had me on edge ever since the beginning of the year when it crossed over 20,000. I feel like we shouldn't even went that far. But what would this do? Would these arrest warrants actually do anything? Because if I remember correctly, there's arrest warrants out for Putin right now. He's still doing what he's doing. It's been out for what, almost a year, if not a year now. So what I don't understand is what implications can this do? So that's why I was like, let me look into this a little bit more. But it says that the ICC is seeking arrest warrants for five individuals: Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his defense minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Diab Ibrahim El Masri, also known as Mohammed Deif, and Ismail Haniyeh. I probably butchered all those names, excuse me. In his statement, Khan praised the panel of experts that he had convened to review the evidence and provide legal analysis to support these arrest warrants. He said his members have immense standing in international humanitarian law and international criminal law. Well, if you're going to go step in any kind of waters, you're going to want to know what those waters are going to consist of. So I understand why he got to go get the experts. So I want to know who these experts are, because if we can see who these experts were, we can. Let me see. They say I can swipe to see comment. Okay, no comments yet. Cool. But uh, what was that? Oh yeah. So now that we know that there was a panel of experts that were actually brought in to check this to make sure that we can get this taken care of. Let's find out who these experts are, because I want to make sure that these are people that have some good standing. So I just want to go over a few names, and I'm just going to read the first sentence because they got a whole paragraph for each one of these, letting me know that they got some kind of knowledge about what's going on. But first, we got Sir Adrian Fulford. He's a retired Lord Justice of Appeal in the United Kingdom. He served as a judge in England and Wales for nearly 3 decades until he retired from the Court of Appeal in 2022, having been a barrister since 1978. So he sounds like he got some very good experience behind him. You have Judge Theodore Marin, who is an American Israeli lawyer and judge who has served on the United Nations tribunals relating to war crimes in the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda. And everybody know what happened in them. And if you don't, too young, you got to do your research to make sure that you understand that we don't need any of these things to ever happen again. This ain't no smite at you. This is just saying we need to understand the past so we can actually avoid these things in the future, right? So Amul Clooney is a British Lebanese barrister and human rights lawyer who represents clients before the ICC, the International Criminal Court of Justice, and the European Court of Human Rights. Forgive my clock over there. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but every hour it plays a nice little tune. It keeps me at peace. But she has represented victims of the Yazidi genocide as well as victims of genocide in Sudan's Darfur. So she has very good experience in recognizing when a genocide has happened. Uh, Danny Friedman, a King's Counsel barrister at London-based barristers Chambers Matrix Chambers, one of whose founding members were Cherie Blair, wife of former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Baroness Helena Kennedy. She is a Scottish barrister based at Doughty Street, Chambers, London, and director of the International Bar Association's Institute of Human Rights. Elizabeth Wilmhurst, a distinguished fellow of international law at Chatham House, London. She has worked as a visiting professor at University College, London. She was deputy legal advisor to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. Now, that right there is a nice little panel. Right there. So obviously, this ain't no crackpots. These ain't no people that we gonna look down and be like, oh, we go think you butchering anything. So if they actually are saying that these arrest warrants need to be issued, it sounds like they got a good panel of people to say that. Because if I can't say that, even though I feel in my heart, I'm not educated like these people on this. Mine is marketing. I do marketing. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I do marketing. I do skincare, hair care. That's what I do. But I do love keeping up with justice all over the world, because like this famous saying says, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. So I definitely don't want to see what's happening over there. What happened over here with the natives and the other indigenous groups around the world that was wiped out. We don't want to see that happen again. And right now, that seems like what's happening again. So according to uh, the ICC panel, that we will find out exactly what they concluded about Israel's war on Gaza. Now, the report says that the panel was convened so the experts could assess objectively the material provided to them by the prosecutor and to advise the prosecutor whether it meets the relevant legal test. In the report, the panel agrees with Khan's assessment that the ICC has jurisdiction over the case since Palestine is a state party as per the ICC statute. So now that's the first thing I know from having to deal with cases on my own for my own behalf. You have to find out where jurisdiction lies because jurisdiction may not be over you. So that's the first thing that was actually brought to the table. And the panel agrees that the ICC does have jurisdiction over the case, and it explains why. Palestine is a state party as per an ICC statute, so it already qualifies. Jurisdiction has been set. Now they can move forward. The panel adds that it knows investigations for additional crimes are underway and are expected to lead to additional applications in the future. Meaning that right now they're going after these crimes, but they understand that more crimes can be added to this at a future date. The experts write that Hamas is a highly organized non-state armed group, so a militant militia to me. And the fighting between Israel and Hamas qualifies as non-international armed conflict between governmental forces and one or more armed groups. All right. So this ain't a country against a country. Pretty much what they're saying. However, the panel notes there is also international armed conflict between Israel and Palestine because the latter is a state in accordance with criteria set out in international law. The panel determines that both Israel and Palestine are high contracting parties, which have ratified the Geneva Convention, and there is a belligerent occupation by Israel over at least some of Palestine. And look at what's happening in Rafah right now. I mean, it continues to be something that we obviously can see as blatant at this point. The report adds, the panel assessment concludes that the three Hamas leaders had a common plan that necessarily involved the commission of war crimes and crimes against humanity, and that this plan was systemic against the civilian population of Israel. This is based on material provided by Khan and statements from survivors and eyewitnesses at the scene of the 6 key attack locations: Kfar Aza, Holik, the location of the Supernova Music Festival, Beri, Nir Oz, and Nahal Oz. I probably butchered all those names. Again, I'm sorry. Video material and statements by the perpetrators. Now, of course, we all know that was a war crime. We knew that October 7th by 8 p.m. The whole world understood that Hamas had just committed a terrible, terrible act, a terrible war crime. And no matter how good they treated some of the kidnapped victims, it would never replace what they did. It would never, you can't show. I get why Israel wants to defend itself, no doubt. But I don't understand why innocent Palestinian women and children and even men out there who are not Hamas have to suffer because of a militant group that is not a non-state army. Why do they gotta suffer? That's just like if the United States government go bomb somebody, they decide to come back and bomb. Don't bomb the U.S. people. We ain't got shit to do with that. Take out the fucking leadership if you want to try to take somebody out. That they the ones that upset you. But instead, you're involving innocent people. Again, put them all in the same room. Let them box it out. Anyways, the report adds that civilians in Gaza have been depending on Israel for objects essential for survival even before October 7th due to the multiple factors, including Israel's restriction on mobility in Gaza following the 2005 disengagement plan, under which Israel technically withdrew from Gaza and removed its settlers, technically. Referring to the use of starvation by Israeli leaders as a method of warfare, the report says parties to an armed conflict must not deliberately impede the delivery of humanitarian relief for civilians, and that following its ground operations in Gaza, Israel certainly became the occupying power in all of, or at least in substantial parts of the enclave. The panel also adds that based on the material it has assessed, it has reason to believe that Yahoo and Gallant have intentionally targeted civilian populations in Gaza and have contributed to starvation. I mean, they was the ones giving the orders, wasn't they? It wasn't the soldiers. I don't remember them coming on TV and saying, "Hey, I told our soldiers to stop it. They will be punished." No, they hardly wanted to punish them for the time they said they was going to punish them. I forgot which two incidents that was. I know one of them was the hospital, the major hospital that they raided. They wasn't supposed to raid. Uh, but like again, how do you understand that? How don't you understand that even when they said they was going to punish their people, they didn't? Why would they even come out and say anything as, oh, we told our soldiers not to do all that killing? They killed 35,000 people. They unalived, excuse me. I know I'm about to be kicked off. I keep saying that, huh? They unalived 35,000 people. My first TikTok going live, y'all forgive me. But again, they have brought up some very, very valid points. So now we have to just wait on the panel of three judges of the ICC to come back and see what decision they make. Sometimes that can take up to 2 months, but according to like inside sources, they say that it's more likely the arrest warrants are going to be issued. So now we're going to have three entities that three power players that are free on the earth, you know what I'm saying, that going to have arrest warrants. Uh, um, Putin, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Gallant, and Hamas leaders, the three Hamas leaders. So this is becoming such a, I don't know, I want to say fiasco, because think about it, man. All we doing is just looking at us. Will we ever do anything about it? Will they ever, even if they issue their arrest warrants, who's going to go arrest them? Because if I understand correctly, the UN is a peacekeeping force. They're not an army. Benjamin Netanyahu is like literally in charge of an army. And not only that, but we're going to see later on who his allies are, who are trying to go against this arrest warrant being issued to him. And you know who they are already. But before we continue, I just want to ask y'all to again hit that like, follow, and subscribe button. Hit that, especially on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. Please hit that like, follow, subscribe button. If you're listening to us on iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, Deezer, Spotify, all of those streaming services, please hit that like, follow, subscribe button. Hit that share button. Let your friends and family know that we got it here for. Already. So now I want to help y'all understand, like, I want to help y'all understand that it's a real big issue uh with only one of these parties going up to the ICC or an ICJ to defend themselves. Because if you actually do a little bit of research, you'll find out one of the top leaders of Hamas, one of the senior leaders of Hamas, his name is Masoud Abu Marzouk. Matter of fact, I don't even think his name was even in the arrest warrant. Let me make sure. The three Hamas leaders that were no Yahya Sinwar, Muhammad Diab, Abraham Al Masri, also known as Muhammad Deif, and Ismail Haniyeh. So not even Abu Marzouk, who you'll see why his name is very important. He's a senior leader. But he wrote, since 2015, Hamas has repeatedly expressed its interest in appearing before and being judged by the ICC, not on the basis of unsubstantiated allegations and screams, but evidence and facts. Israel has not. Abu Marzouk added, Hamas stands ready to appear before the ICC with witnesses and live testimony and bear the burden of any judicial finding against it or its members after a full and fair trial with rules of evidence with examination and cross-examination into what we have done or not over the many years of our leadership as a national liberation movement. Is Israel? Now, when he wrote this was in January of 2024, so that was earlier this year. He was saying we're willing to come in front of the ICC, but I have the news on in the background, and I think since I got set up to do this live with all my information, I think they actually are now against the warrants. I'm just gonna see. Oh wait, what the heck? Hamas. Give me one moment. I'm just trying to. All right. So let me see what happened here. Let me see. Because I believe they quoted Hamas today. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I don't see anything about what I heard just now, which is funny because I want to throw something out there. Now, I do listen to all of the news networks simply for this podcast. But I noticed one thing whenever it comes to MSNBC, CNN, Fox, all of those Western media publications, no matter how they spin it, they talk about the same thing and they give you the same details. They may spin it with their opinions, but if you break down the core facts, you take out their opinions and look at just the facts that they're giving you, it's the same facts, right? But if you look at other publications that are Western based, you know what I'm saying, or even just some European publications, you will see that those aren't the only facts and the facts that they're not talking about are very important key facts, very important key facts, such as this the helicopter crash in Iran. I don't want to get too far because I'm talking about Israel Palestine uh, conflict right now. But the helicopter crash, I do want you all to keep in mind that whenever a president of a nation or a leader of a nation is moving about on helicopter, and if they're personal, not personal, but the aircraft that they're in, they are guarded by other aircrafts. So there was two other helicopters with that helicopter, but yet the helicopter with the president is the one that got caught up in the fog and crashed. That's just facts. I don't know how you want to feel about those facts, but those are just facts. And I didn't get that from any Western publication. But yeah, I don't see anything about that. So I think they have actually, it must have just happened. I don't want to, if you can find something on that, send me a link. I definitely want to check it out. Because apparently Hamas said something um, that it wasn't fair or something. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of talking to y'all when it came on. But anyways, so that's beside the point. Let's get back to what we're talking about. We see Hamas is ready. Hamas wants to go up in front of the international courts. They want to take care of this. Hey, we got the evidence. I wouldn't be surprised if they say we even spend the rest of our life in prison. Or if y'all have to behead us like y'all did Saddam Hussein, you know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all have to do, as long as my people come up. That we're tired of living like this. We needed y'all to actually pay attention. So this is why we did that. Not making excuses. Not making excuses. There's no excuse for this. But these are the reasons that they have been given. And so they're willing to die for that. Man, hey, that's to me, that's wow. Anyways, uh, so we got the Hamas. So what about it? Israel? How does I want to know what Israel? First, I want to talk because we already know Israel is going to be calling bullshit. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, we already know that Israel is going to be calling bullshit. Israel is like, Nah, y'all ain't coming over here to. I already know that. I don't have to read any articles to tell you that. You should know that because you should know Benjamin Netanyahu by now. But like, I will go over this one again. I'm getting a lot of my information from Al Jazeera, and a lot of this information is by way of video. So I watch the video, I see the people saying what they're saying themselves, and then I go and read the article that quotes them when they say. So I already know these people said what they said because Biden defends Israel after ICC requests the arrest warrants. He says no equivalence. You're right. Almost 1,200 people is not equivalent to 35,000 innocent women and children. You're right. That isn't it. It's not. One of them is down here and the other one is up here, you know. But I forgot to introduce y'all to. I ain't came up with no names for them yet. Y'all see them on my right, my left shoulder. Y'all see them. You probably on TikTok. You're gonna have a hard time saying. I'll show y'all at the end of the live, so y'all make sure y'all tune in. I'll show y'all at the end of the live. But at Facebook, y'all should be able to see this. And on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, if y'all listen to that, find Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses, on Facebook and Instagram. And I want y'all to give me names for these two fellas right here, because those my African homies right there. They guard me everywhere I go. See, I don't believe in good and evil, or good and bad, and all that. No, that's equal balance. That's yin and yang. But I need names for them. So if y'all could come up with some names, hit me up. I'm ready to. I want to know what names I got for them. You feel me? But anyways, we got back to Joe Biden. The United States President Joe Biden has defended Israel against war crimes charges in the world's top courts. Of course he has. It took him forever to call for a ceasefire. It had took him over 25,000 people dead in order for him to call for a ceasefire. And then he ain't putting his foot down about that because they still getting ammunitions, or they have enough ammunition to continue this little bombardment that he thinks he's stopping. He ain't. You gave him enough weaponry, billions upon billions of dollars of weaponry. Anyways, Biden's remarks came after Karim Khan, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, said he was seeking arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant over alleged war crimes committed during the war in Gaza. Now, black people, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you for a second. Now, we was talking about South Africa having an arrest warrant for Putin, right? Well, let me be clear, and South Africa stands on the Israeli occupation of Palestine since the 90s, with Nelson Mandela calling them an apartheid based government. South Africans have always stood with Palestinians for the most part. And they will continue because they know that the plight that the Palestinians are facing is the same plight that the South Africans was facing against the Afrikaans. So they stand in unison with the Palestinians. I felt like I wanted to say that because Joe Biden just left Morehouse giving a commencement speech, trying to brainwash, I'm going to say it, I don't care, trying to brainwash you into voting for him again because you aren't black if you don't, remember? He needs the black men, so he said, in order to get ushered back into the White House, to stay in the White House, excuse me. I just want to throw that out there and then remind you of whose side he's on in this fiasco. Just want to remind you about that. Anyways. So, back to what I'm saying. Biden goes on to say that, let me be clear, we reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Biden said at a Jewish American Heritage Month event at the White House on Monday, the same day Khan announced he was applying for the arrest warrants at Netanyahu and Gallant, as well as the Hamas leaders over alleged war crimes. Now, he was at a Jewish American Heritage Month. Now, we know that Kanye wasn't lying. Y'all said that he was crazy, maybe because of his delivery. But we know and have known since before Kanye, because Kanye got the information from us and then he went out and experienced it himself. We've been talking about how the Jewish presence in the elite utilize the black people and the black culture for their advancement while at the same time not really liking us or distorting our representation. We know this. And if you call me anti-Semitic, you need to look at my bloodline. For real. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But anyways, that I just wanted to make sure you understood. Because they say if it was wrong for Donald Trump to go eat or have dinner with that white supremacist, it should be equally wrong here. Because he then turned around and went to the people that these people utilize for their advancement and not for the people's advancement, and told them that he backs somebody who is committing genocide. I'm sorry, I just had to pause to let that soak in, because if it didn't soak in, I'm finna get when y'all do come back and watch this, y'all gonna have so many comments. Watch. Now, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas, he added. Hours earlier, he had issued a strongly worded statement saying that the ICC words were outrageous. And he's right, it is no equivalence. Again, I say weigh 35,000 and weigh 1,200. But you know what the funny part about it is? All of them were innocent. That's the funny part. 36,200 people innocent. Gone. Millions displaced. Innocent. I'm not even going to say who, Israeli or Palestine. It doesn't even matter. Because that number represents innocent people. But yet, we want to separate them and say it's no equivalence. But if you want to go that route, but yeah, it's no equivalence. 35,000 is way, way too much to pay for 1,200 people. Because we shouldn't even be doing eye for an eye. We should be doing justice. Meaning that you go in, you find these people, however you got to, but you didn't. You bombed them like you did. You bombed Palestine. I'm just stating facts. You could have went in and got them, but you bombed. Just stating facts. Anyways, Israel is also facing a separate case on alleged genocide at the International Court of Justice, which was brought by South Africa. See, I told you. South Africa stands with. So who do you stand with? Who do you stand with? Because South Africa, our family, we're supposed to be African Americans. I'm not. I'm a Moorish American. But for African Americans, we're supposed to be standing with the Africans, right? Because that's who we are first, right? That's what you say. We're African first, American second. Anyways, Biden said that Israel is not committing genocide in Gaza. But you heard the panel of experts, right? He's not a international criminal lawyer. He's not. He never practiced law. He was just in lawmaking for a corporation, because he's never made a law a day in his life. He made that 1996 crime bill, him and Clinton. Remember black men? Remember black women? Yeah, I do. I remember it vividly. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening in Gaza is not genocide. We reject that, Biden said in his speech. You ain't we. Like, stop speaking, because you stop speaking for the U.S., for the American people, because obviously you're out of touch. What you meant to say was some of us reject that, while some of us uphold that. So now we need to take it to the fucking polls. Let us vote on this issue. Like we do props in our states. Let's prop this motherfucker up and let's find out exactly where the American people stand when it comes to this. Matter of fact, let me see. I think I was able to on TikTok. I'm sorry, Facebook. Y'all having to deal with me, deal with TikTok. I mean, I'm obviously gonna have to figure out how to do this. But anyways, so we see that Biden obviously is not on the same side as South Africa, but yet since I guess he's your president, you say I did that right. I'm not gonna put that. No, he's not. I don't have a president. I don't. Whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's Biden, whether it's Cornel West, who I suggest y'all look at, but y'all don't even care to look outside the two-party freaking solution. Anyways, even if y'all put somebody else in there, you could put a Moorish American in there, and I'm still gonna side eye them. Sorry, I mean I want to see action. I don't care what they claim, but you black man and black woman, do you see whose side your president is on? Are you on that side, or are you on? You know, I'm just stop. You get the point, and if you don't want to get the point, you ain't gonna. You turned it off by now. Now, while Biden's defense of Israel is met with warm applause at the White House event, his election campaign has been marred by pro-Palestinian protests across the U.S., with some anti-war advocates labeling the president Genocide Joe. See, this is what I'm saying. You obviously didn't understand the complications, huh? So this is what I'm saying. Like, okay, so we now see Hamas is obviously ready to go to the ICC. They ready. They like, let's do it. So if anything, we should be trying to get everybody to the ICC because it sounds like there's only one party who don't want to show up, and it's usually the guilty party that don't want to show up. I'm saying it's usually the guilty party screaming, "I'm innocent." Just saying. Now, the world obviously has had a lot to say about it because the world is like I say, it's a polarizing issue. It's two issues. It's two sides of this issue that is very have both strong opinions, strong people, strong actions. You know what I'm saying, made against each other, and with this becoming now to a point where it's going to be held up, it may be held up in the International Criminal Court system or the International Court of Justice. Uh, this is actually going to come to a head at one point in time. Now, how is going to if they do actually get the arrest warrants passed? How are they supposed to actually execute these arrest warrants? Again, they haven't went and got Putin yet. They have no army to go get these people with. Because if you have any country's army going to go get these people with, that country just declared war on another country. It's not like it's exactly like the police, you know what I'm saying? Declaring war on the indigenous people. But it also is more like, it's not like, the court system sending the army here, to come and rescue. It's not like that. That won't ever happen. It will be a war. It will be another war, and then it will be the invading country that is actually at fault. So I'm saying, how do you go and arrest these people? Are they just not allowed to leave their country? I mean, I never left. I just left the country for the first time 2 years ago. I was all right up until then. And these people are leaders. I'm a broke motherfucker. So I can already see they gonna be living lavishly. Okay, well I can't go. Oh, I can go to my allies who ain't gonna arrest me or some shit. No, this is bullshit. Mm. So, in my personal opinion, I don't think that this warrant is gonna hold any weight simply because of the Putin warrant. The Putin warrant ain't been executed yet. And don't get me wrong, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't hate Putin. I don't love him. I don't like him. I don't care about him. But I see that his friendship with Muammar Gaddafi and the way that they actually still worship pray to a black Jesus and black Madonna, Virgin Mary, whoever. It's like I don't ever remember Russia being against black people except for y'all talking about with Brittany Griner, who you got to remember actually to. I mean, it's a stupid law. I don't like the law, but she broke the law. I mean, What else can we say about that? She broke the law. Even if it was medical, there would have had to be some other. I just went with the Russian. That would have been one place I just think I wiped off my list. Oh wait, we can't smoke. Nah, bro, I'm good. Mm-mm. I dropped me off in Switzerland. I fuck that shit. But anyways, I don't really see these West warrants coming to any head or any conclusion that's going to be of anything. I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be done until somebody put together some kind of initiative to go into Israel and get the motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. Go get them. Go get the Hamas leaders and take them to court. But that don't seem like it's going to ever happen. And until then, until those 2 months, 2 months are over with, and they can finally decide if they're going to send out arrest warrants, and then the time that it's going to take to actually get their hands on the 5 individuals that they want to have arrested and have tried and actually put a ceasefire into effect, more people are going to die. More innocent people are going to die. And if it's spread like a virus, a lot more innocent people are going to die. You got to figure out something about it. We got to figure out something, y'all. It got to be some kind of way of holding people accountable. Again, I say go look at Cornell West. If I do decide to go exercise my right, quote unquote, to vote, then I'm going for Cornell West, hands down. Why? He's different. He's different, and I may be wrong. He may be with the elite as well. He may be hands down the worst one. I don't know, but at least I don't know because the two top runners we know. We know. I didn't like Biden from the jump since 96. 98, actually. 98. That's what I stopped liking. Anyways, but Trump, yeah, my pocket's a little bigger, but yeah, most of the country don't like him. So, hey, I'm gonna have to rock for most of the country, even if he is good or not. I don't, hey, at this point, we need a president that can pull us all together. And I believe that's somebody who don't nobody know. Let's try somebody we don't know at all. You did it with Barack Obama. Nobody knew that nigga. Excuse me, should I be calling him that? But I can see that this is going to be a long time coming. And our hearts, like I say, is with Palestine and all the victims, whether they are already buried or whether they are running the streets trying to find a way to survive this fiasco. There's babies being raised in this war. And then you want them to not retaliate when they get older. I guess that's what it is. They got to get rid of the women and children because if you don't, there will always be a generation to come back in, I guess, fight for their freedom, huh? I guess y'all ain't figured it out by now. If you have figured it out, yeah, I am pro Palestine. I just didn't have any faith in the international criminal court system. Hell, UN let me down. We strongly are against this. What they say? We sanction this and sanction that. The whole time they dropping bombs on innocent people, and when they go up and look at the shells, guess what the shells say? USA. All right, everybody, that is your boy. I'm coming to the end. BOSS Radio, baby. You already know how we like to get down. This is Revolutionary Hour. And I hope that you all got something out of this. I hope that, you know what I'm saying, y'all like, follow, and subscribe again. I'm on all social media with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. You can just find us at BOSS Radio. Just type that in, you'll find us. Also, we're on all streaming services up at the Revolutionary Hour and Reggae Hour, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, these and more. And yeah, name these two fellas for me. TikTok, I said I was going to show them to you. So that's one right there. And that's the other one. So I just want y'all to give my two African homies names. I want to know what y'all name them. I need to probably check with my wife first, huh? They my homies, but she had them before me, so she probably already named them. Well, I go ahead and check with her on that. But I want to see what y'all think their name should be. So hit that comment section and let me know what y'all name them. And don't be coming with no trippy names. Like I'm talking about you people that be always trying to make somebody look bad. You know who I'm talking about. You under the bridge home hating mother. This is Revolutionary Y'all, baby. Hit that like, follow, and subscribe, and we'll sign off. Y'all have a good one until the next time. We're gonna be out of here. You heard me? Okay, now I gotta figure out how to cut this off. And it's in. Let's cut you off.